Hi there. I just wanted to have a chat because this has been put in my heart today. Excuse me, please. In respect to accumulating assets or what we do with our money. Now, you may well ask, justifiably too, I might add, why is it my business about what you do with your money? You've earned it very hard, or one way or another, whether even if you had it handed to you, you might have to do the hard yards in some way to be able to hold on to those assets. You might have gotten a degree to be able to get those assets. And you might have had to go through a court to be able to fight to preserve those assets. And all those things I'm not arguing with at all, not even in the slightest. So there's no question about whether you are worthy of it or deserving of it or anything like that. One has to question sometimes why one person would be more worthy than another. I'll give you an example. There's countries that you can go to where people live, work and sleep in one room, and they don't have cooking facilities, they don't even have a toilet. They're scraping by just to make ends meet, to even just be able to have access to clean running water. And I've lived in a country where they did those sort of struggles, so I guess I have the hidden advantage of being able to see how much that may potentially mean for somebody, amongst other things. But taking myself out of the equation, the reason why it concerns me is that what I do notice is that both rich and impoverished people and midstream all seem to have one thing in common. There are many of us who tend to collect or hoard. So even to my embarrassment, my shame, when I moved to a smaller house, because really in essence, I just have like 2 rooms. Yes, they're quite sizable, but they're still rooms, just 2 rooms. And being that as it is, I had no real cupboard space or shelf space. And there was many things I looked at, and I didn't have a wardrobe to put my clothes in or anything. And I'm not saying poor me, but I looked at it and I thought, well, what are the things that I'm going to need here for my house, and how much clutter will that create to put these things in? And what do I want more? Do I want the space to be able to move around, or do I want this? Now, what I do notice is that if I go over to some of my friends who are really well off, for example, the more money that they have, the more money that they make, they tend to buy bigger things, bigger assets with it. So they might go out and get a big boat. They might get a big caravan. They might get, the latest one. They might have 3 times the amount of clothes instead of, what they just need for one season. They'll have, instead of just having like 2 or 3 jackets, they might have like 7 jackets, and they might have, 5 or 7 pairs of pants, or whatever it is. I mean, we all compare. If we compare it, who's to say how many is wrong or right? The point that I'm trying to make, though, is that what I do notice is, and I notice within myself too, is that we can often fill in gaps by buying things. So usually when we don't make time to actually connect or communicate in the areas that really speak to us, for whatever our reason, it might be too confronting, it might be too hard, we may not be ready, might just be too emotional, tumultuous, we might not feel like we've got the time, or we can't make sense out of it, or whatever it is, we tend to accrue things instead of that. We tend to go out and buy something. And I'll give you an example. Clothes is one example, especially as a woman. We're like bowerbirds, right? Men are too, but they do it with machinery and boats and trail bikes and cars and all that kind of stuff, which is a bit more expensive. Women will tend to do it sometimes just as expensive with jewelry, with clothes. Come on, women, we all know this. We'll go out and we'll get stuff that is too small for us for when you're going to lose weight. We might have held on to that for the last 10 years because one day we're going to lose weight because we really love that dress. We don't want anybody else to have it because it would break our hearts. We want to be the one to wear it because it's so beautiful. But it will probably sit there for another 10 years. And by the time we look at it, like I did in one dress years ago, I thought, I think I've sort of outgrown this dress. Like, I don't know if I really feel like wearing this really super mini skirt anymore. I don't know if it would hold the same class. But, you know, everyone's different. And then there's the clothes for when you're feeling fat, you know, for when women have their periods, or just when we put on a little bit more weight or whatever. And the feel good flowing stuff, you know, whatever it is, or the family heirlooms. There's another example. The stuff that we're too guilty to throw out because we got that off our family. And so we have all this clutter in our cupboard. We've got like a kitchen full of appliances that were handed down to us that makes us feel connected to a family. Or it might be that they're worth something and we're aware of that, and that's why we hold on to it, because, you know, it brings all those familiar things. But really, do we need it? And is it something that we can extend beyond ourselves and share it with somebody else to empower them in their time of need? If they don't have the money to be able to go out and get those things, and we're not using them, why do we have them? If you were to go through your clothes, and I do this as well regularly, where you go through your clothes and you make 3 piles. And the first pile is a definite, I couldn't bear life without this. It's a bit melodramatic. But you know, there's certain things that I really love. Like, I have this dress that is just very, very beautiful. And it's a linen dress. And one of my girlfriends bought it for me. And it was lovely. And it actually comes from Denmark. And so it's very close to me culturally. But I wear it. I mean, I really wear it. I have to iron it and everything. But when I wear it with, I really feel like a lady. I really do feel like a lady. I feel like I carry everything that epitomizes a lady for me. And then I will have another pile, and that'll be the pile of, I'm not quite sure, like I really like it, but, you know, maybe if I'm back to size 8 again, then I can wear it. Or I really, really love it, but, you know, I just don't get the chance to wear it very often, because of whatever reason, because I tend to wear everything pretty much. But and then there's the other pile of, no, I'm ready to let go of it. And for the things that I let go of, I have this ritual where I'm like, you know, I'll hold them up to me and I'll close my eyes and I'll absorb the fact that I had these, I wore them, I appreciated them. I'm grateful that they carried me through the times they did, and that they honored my body the way they did, and thank you. And I release them with love to somebody else that might be able to appreciate them more, if not as the same as me. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do that. Obviously, you're your own person, you can do it. But if you can do that and you can find a way of giving it to somebody who you don't necessarily have to be in control or present of to see the look on their face when they exhibit joy at being able to receive that, because they cannot afford to buy something that you might have in your wardrobe that you're just leaving sit there because, damn it, I don't want anybody else to have it and it costs a fortune. Let's just put all that shiz aside and just share the love. I know what it feels like to be on the bones of my butt, but not the same as an Ethiopian. And for somebody who has nothing, when they find something and it doesn't cost the earth, just consider for a moment how much that means to them. No one is more justified in being able to afford stuff or to earn more money than another. There are some people who live and work 24 hours a day in one tiny space. And if they could have given their right arm to be able to get an education that that person with a degree had, they would. So let's just extend our love beyond ourselves and to just appreciate, share the memories, and fill in gaps in other ways apart from just supporting corporate industries and spending money. That was my message. Love you.